Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Bonjour. Guten Tag. Anything else? Welcome. Welcome. No, that's it. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday. The sun is shining in our little part of the south of England today. Blue sky, sunshine. Dog's fast asleep because, it's been a busy morning already. Good morning, Amanda. As always, if you are watching, do please pop a hello in the comments and we'll do the thing. Summer, June now. Don't know where the year's gone, but the garden is starting to look wonderful. Everything is blossoming and blooming. So that is the subject for today. Flower magic. Because why not? Good morning, Claire. Good morning, girl. Oh, from Germany. I was in Germany a couple of weeks back. Beautiful, beautiful country. Sean. I'm getting there. Good morning, Jalala. Yes, we do have sunshine. We do have sunshine. Let's hope it stays. Good morning, Karen. Karen has sunshine too. Good. Let's spread the sunshine around. Good morning, Emma. All good here. Thank you. Good morning, Nita. Yeah, Nita's got sun too. It is Sean. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sean. I'm learning a little bit of German. I'm loving it. Germany was just amazing. I absolutely fell in love. Ich liebe dich. Fell in love with it. Fell in love with it. But anyway, moving onwards. Good morning, Kerry from sunny Clonelly. Love it. Let's spread the sunshine around. Good morning, Steve. Yes, I'm learning little bits of German. Learning little bits. Getting there. I can order a drink in a cafe. So far, getting there. And I know all the names of the family members. Getting there. So yes, it's all good here. Busy as always. We've opened the shop, Emporium of Witchcraft. We've had tons of orders in already. Thank you to everyone that's ordered already. You can buy copies of my signed books. You can pre-order copies of my signed books. You can buy pre-loved witchcraft books. You can buy pre-loved crystal and silver jewelry. You can buy spell kits, witch bells, witch ladder kits. The girls have made some amazing shawls, meditation shawls. We have poppets, all sorts of stuff. Go and have a look. There's tons of stuff on there. We will be bringing all of it to Pagan Tribal Gathering, which is later this month. If you haven't got a ticket for Pagan Tribal Gathering yet, do it. It's an amazing festival, and Kitchen Witch will have our very first inner field traders gazebo, which should be fun. Looking forward to that. Good evening, Sephora. Girl, you are magical in pronouncing. Coffee is very important. Kaffee. Kaffee und Milch. Bitter. So you're impressed, aren't you? Good evening, Sue. Oh, Chile and New Zealand. Yeah, you're flipped around, aren't you? So that's to be expected. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Susan from West Sussex, not far from me. There's a link to Pagan Tribal. Excellent. Good morning, Christine. It's lovely to have you with us. Good morning, Jane. The lives are always good fun. I do look forward to them. So this week, because the gardens are starting to bloom here in England, flowers. Gotta love flowers. Now I do, obviously I'm a witch and I have a garden, so I have a witch's garden. I don't necessarily grow things because that's what a witch would grow. I grow things that make the garden look beautiful. I grow things that grow in air soil, heavy clay. And I grow things because one side of the garden is very shady, one side is in sun. So you have to kind of mix and match. Every plant has magical properties. Every single one has magical properties. It's about connecting with the energy of that plant and working out what it can help you with. There are lists, obviously, on the internet. There are lists in my books. There are lists in other books. But connect with the plant yourself and work out what that plant means to you. So I save as much as I can. Petals, seed heads, leaves, twigs, all sorts of stuff. So every plant will have magic to it. But let's have a look at what's blooming at the moment and how you work with it. So does anybody work with flower magic? Do you work with flowers in any way? Do you work with petals or blossom in any way? Share your thoughts, share your ideas. If you've got any questions, we'll look at some in detail. We'll look at some specific ones if anyone wants to know. That's it for today. The subject. Not that's it for today because we only just started. We have a series of workshops actually for anyone local, Fareham-ish, Wickham Fareham. We are running a series of workshops with the very, very lovely Raw Eden in Wickham, obviously, Fareham. First one is on Monday, the 10th of June in the evening, 6 till 9. I think there are literally just a couple of tickets left. We're doing an introduction to witchcraft, so a general kind of chat about witchcraft. Then we've got a couple more booked. We've got a Moon Magic one booked, and we've got a Triple Goddess one booked. So if you're local and you fancy that, do have a look. All the details are on my website. All the details are on the Kitchen Witch website. So have a look at that. Thank you, Google. I am practicing my pronunciations. And of course, Dragon Magic. It's that month. Dragon Magic launches this month. We've got a book launch workshop ritual free online open to everyone Saturday 22nd of June. Details again on the website. If you have a look at my Facebook page, you will see the most amazing hello, cup of tea, thank you. The hand's got a deep voice today. Very White impersonation. Thank you. Have a look on my Facebook page. Matty at Moonbooks has done the most incredible video to promote the Dragon Magic book. There's also another one coming out in a couple of weeks. The artwork is just stunning. So do have a look at that. It is amazing. Good morning, Xenia. Xenia's over in London. You are such an international jet setter, Xenia. Sephora's coming up to Yule, yes, because you're flipped, aren't you? So other than the usual conifers, what else might one use? Holly, ivy, mistletoe. I'm trying to think of the names got out of my head. The red leaf flowers. Brain's gone already and hasn't even started. It's about looking. I don't know New Zealand flora particularly well at all, really. Have a look outside and see what's growing right now. Not right now because you don't want to leave the chat, but have a look outside and what's growing in the season that you are in. That will then relate to whatever festival Sabbath you are celebrating, because it's all got to be seasonal. It's about connection. Absolutely. Work and harvest, always seasonal. Absolutely. What is in season right now? And that will be your association to whatever Sabbath it is. Absolutely, absolutely. Emma, let's get some of these up so that you can see them on. I can barely keep grass alive, let alone flowers and plants. I'm no good at house plants. I will put my hands up to that. I can keep cactus alive, cacti. I'm not very good with house plants. Gardening is maybe also I think, yes, I think there is a certain skill to anything, but I think it's a skill that you can learn. And gardening is, like most things, trial and error, just to, see what happens. Need to dry all my rose petals. One of my absolute go-tos. We've got several different roses in the garden. I dry all of the petals for them. Use them as whole mixed colours, and in specific spells I use specific colours. You can eat the fresh petals too. Oh, nasturtiums are nice. They taste peppery, don't they? I don't grow nasturtiums because we really struggle with black fly on them. It's just one of those things. Rose petals, brilliant. I do use them in a lot of spells. The colours, as you mentioned, I use red and pink for love, friendship, passion, energy. Yellow is good for happiness. White is good for peace and general spells. Yeah, rose petals are absolutely brilliant. I also save the thorns. I use the thorns from roses particularly in protection spells. They're very useful too. So roses, yes, absolutely. Let's have a look at all this. I mean, rose covers all sorts of things. So let's get the book. Here we go. Ooh, roses. Oh, yeah. Love, psychic powers, healing, luck, protection, peace, mysteries, knowledge, dreams, friendship, death and rebirth, abundance. Death and rebirth because the rose loses its leaves over winter and appears to have died. Then it comes back again in the spring, hopefully. Ruled by Venus and the moon. It is feminine, nurturing type of energy. Pisces and water, so it's very much emotions, very much that kind of love, moon kind of energy. Absolutely. So use rose petals for casting circles. Use it in incense blends, in spell pouches, in witch bottles. I say I use the thorns in a lot of spells too. Put rose petals in your bath water for a ritual bath. All sorts of wonderful uses for rose. Yes, definitely one of the most versatile. Sephora. I've got lots of lovely ginkgo leaves. Nice. Might help with ancestors, maybe being one of the oldest plants. Absolutely. And energy as well, and passion and oomph. Ginkgo would be very good for those as well. I've never grown ginkgo, I must admit. Christine, I do save and work with my garden blossom seeds, etc. However, I do like to save a flower or petals from gifted flower bouquets, as I think they hold lots of love and positive energy. Absolutely. I don't grow carnations in the garden. We've got some little pinks, but we don't really have the room for carnations. So if I get a bouquet of carnations, I always save the flowers, because carnations are my go-to for healing. And they tend to be, they're the kind of bunch of flowers you pick up from the supermarket or the petrol station, aren't they, in a hurry? Carnations. But they are really, really good for healing. So let's have a look at carnations. I'm just going through the alphabet in a minute. Carnation is healing, strength, protection, release, and courage. Ruled by the sun, it's fire, it's masculine, it's projective. It's got a lot of power and energy in carnation. It brings personal courage if you wear or carry the flower with you. It soaks up negative energy. And I say it works particularly well in healing spells. Place a vase of carnations next to someone that's not feeling very well, and that will draw out the negative energy and help make them feel better. They also bring in protection if you use carnation petals in protection pouches. Again, colours: red for love, white for peace, yellow for happiness. Very, very versatile ones as well. Good morning, Paul. Poinsettia. Thank you, Claire. That's the Yule flower I was trying to think for. The flower's actually tiny, isn't it? It's the leaves that are red. I've never managed to keep one of those alive because they're warm tropical plants. We bring them indoors in December, and it's such a shock to their system that they struggle. There you go. But very representative of Yule. Good morning, Dawny. Hannah, love flowers. I made my own flower oracle with photographs of the flowers in my local area that I connected with. Fabulous. is exactly what I did, but I sold it to Llewellyn and they printed it. If you've got my Flower Magic Oracle, that's exactly what I did. All of the pictures from that are from my own garden. And it's such an amazing experience to connect with flowers and plants, but particularly ones that you've grown yourself. There's such a strong energy there. Good morning, David. Just finished a major house clean, so I'm my housewife outfit. What's the talk? Flowers, flower magic. Wondering why my Blothua statue has a big grin on her face. Yep, flower face goddess. It's her day today. Jalala, I use lavender in spells and rose petals. I use lavender a lot as well. Tend to use lavender in, let's do lavender. It's calming, isn't it? Calming, sleep. It's got an uplifting kind of energy to it, but it's quite gentle, isn't it? Lavender, happiness, peace, love, protection, sleep, clarity. The fairies like it. Strength. Ruled by Mercury, and it's an air element and a masculine projective kind of energy. Lavender, very, very useful. Sharpens your mind and gives clarity to your thoughts. Apparently, Roman ladies of the night used the scent of lavender to attract their customers. Just in case that's useful to anyone that might need a bit of extra cash. Just saying. Use lavender flowers in sleep spells or make lavender pillows to help you sleep. Calming, peaceful, happiness, tranquility. Hang a bunch of lavender over your threshold to bring peace to your home and to keep out negative energy. Wear or carry lavender with you to protect against negative words and to give you inner strength. I actually put a bit of lavender into my smudge sticks when I'm making them. I usually put rosemary, a bit of thyme if I've got it, a bit of sage and a bit of lavender just to bring all those energies together. Very useful, very, very useful one. Use hibiscus petals and magnolia petals in tea as a health spell. Nice. Dandelion infused oil for skin preparations. Dandelion, I mean, so easy to get hold of and very useful. Wishes, divination, love, abundance, psychic powers, dandelion. I keep a little jar with some of the dandelion seeds in and I put them in wish spells. They're very, very useful for that. It's all good. It's all good. Cool. Name is Rose in Turkish. Perfect. Perfect. Xenia, I love working with petals like rose petals for jars, pouches, oils. Also, thistles apparently claimed me. Can't walk past these without admiring them. I gathered thistle blossoms too. I put one in a protection bottle. Obviously, they're not good for pouches because they sting. Thistles, very, very good. I don't know if thistles are in the book. Very good for protection because they're spiky. I use sea holly in exactly the same way, or teasels work very well as well. Oh yeah, thistles. Thistles, protection, healing, exorcism, hex breaking, and spirit. Ruled by Mars and Jupiter, element of fire and energy, projective, masculine. Not a big surprise with all the thistles on. Keep thistle flowers on your altar to strengthen your connection to the spirit world. Put thistle down under your doorstep to stop thieves from entering the house. Keep thistles in the room when someone is poorly. They will help with the healing process. And use in all protection and healing spell workings and in poppets for hex breaking. Very useful. Very, very useful. Maria, my plants have suffered this year due to the lack of sun in my outside space. I like looking at plants in shops, but equally as happy I haven't bought them, so they'll survive. House plants do scream when I come near them in the garden centres. They yeah, they're not good. It is about, we've got a very shady side of the garden. Fuchsias don't mind the shade. Some of the astrantias don't mind it a bit. Begonias aren't too bad in the shade. And obviously things like ferns, Fatsia japonica, they're all okay in the shade. It's about working out what plant doesn't mind it. If you want flowers, go for fuchsias. We always put fuchsia hanging baskets all down a shady side of the garden and they love it. Dawny, even a cactus used to die on me, but since I started talking to my plants, they all do so well. Excellent. For me, that is flower magic, knowing how bad I used to be with them, how well they do now. Perfect. It is about connecting and connecting with any of these plants. And we connect so that we can find out what magic they can help us with. But we also connect because the plant might be thirsty or hungry, and it can communicate with you and let you know that. Or it might tell you, do you know what? It's so dark here. I'm dying. Move me to the sunshine. Or it might say, whoa, it's too hot here. Move me out, move me out. Connection. All about connection. Jane, busy collecting some beautifully scented rose petals as they're ready to drop. Yes, I use them as an ingredient. Peace dust for home protection spells. That's in Lucia's book. It's a hoodoo recipe, so you can Google it as well. They smell gorgeous when mixed with mint and cardamom. Perfect. Very useful. Rose petals, very useful. David, when it comes to flowers and plants, that's more my partner's field. Wouldn't know half the flowers in my garden if it wasn't for her. Teamwork, David. Teamwork. It's all good. Girl, my houseplants have funny names and compliment them when they're looking good. I have 2 houseplants. I do have a few cactus. I have 2 houseplants that have survived. One of them is called Bernard and the other one's called Sheila. I don't know. It's just the names. Yes, I'm with you on that one. Jalala, I've got dried forsythia petals and broom petals ready for use, but haven't used them yet. Oh, lots of bright yellows. Used marigold petals in incense for focus and learning. I use marigold petals a lot for psychic properties. If I am making an incense or a spell for boosting your psychic abilities, then I will put marigold in. If I'm making anything to step over to the other world, then I will include marigold in it. So marigold is psychic powers, dreams, protection, luck, happiness, and gossip. Ruled by the sun, sign of Leo, it's fire, it's masculine projective energy. It is a real out there, fiery, let's go do it kind of thing. It's colours as well, isn't it? It's yellows, it's orange, it's that bright kind of passion energy type of flower. Put marigold flowers under your bed to ensure a good sleep, keep away the nightmares, and invite in prophetic dreams. Place marigold flowers around your house and hang them over doorways for protection and to fill your home with positive energy. The bright, cheerful colours and the energy of the sun, marigold makes a good herb to use for happiness and uplifting workings. Carry marigold with you to bring luck, especially in legal cases or for gamblers. Mix bay leaf with marigold petals and you have yourself a good anti-gossip spell. I'd chuck a couple of cloves in there as well. So marigold, excellent. Broom and forsythia, both spring ones, aren't they? And they're both yellow. I might have broom in here. I don't know if forsythia is broom. All right, broom is purification, protection, luck, and wind spell work. Ruled by Mars, element of air, and its masculine projective energy. If you can get several branches of broom, you can tie them together to make an actual symbolic broom to use for sweeping away negative energies. Also brings in protection. You can use broom to calm the winds or whip one up. And the flowers are considered lucky and also protective if worn or carried. So very, very useful. I don't think I've got forsythia, but that's one of those cases where you would need to connect with it and see what energy you feel it has. For me, I think forsythia has probably got a very similar energy to broom, but go with what works for you. Xenia, when I get flower bouquets, I always dry them and keep the whole rose blossoms. Very, very, it's one of those things as well about not only do we get ingredients, magical ingredients for free, but it's that whole making use of things that we've got rather than just throwing them away. Absolutely. Maria, I have roses on my altar from my birthday, slowly dying, and their scent has become stronger whilst they're dying. They do, don't they? Save the petals, use them in magical workings. Perfect. David, well, remember all flowers are the sexual bits of a plant, so using any flower or petal for love spells, lust, desire spell should work a treat, I would think. Yeah, yes. And the petals are there to invite the pollinating insects in. The petals are there to go, hey, come on in, have a good time. So yeah, attraction is the theme for the day, really. Sephora, I've got rose hips. Camellia are just starting to appear, and of course calendula. What would the latter two bring to the party? Calendula, the same as marigold. So calendula, marigold, same family, genus. If you want to be, technical. Marigold is Calendula officinalis, the Latin name. So marigold, yes, definitely psychic abilities. Calendula, definitely psychic abilities. Calendula is used a lot in healing, in calming balms and medicines. So psychic powers, dreams, protection, luck, happiness, gossip. But with calendula, I would use them for healing and calming as well. Camellia is, for me, a money flower. Absolute bring the money in, riches, prosperity, ka-ching kind of flower. We lost Air Camellia, actually. It'd be nice to get one back, but it is the money flower for me. Money, wealth, riches, abundance, luxury. It's all the good stuff. It's all the riches. Abundance, prosperity, also good for spirituality. Camellia, it is moon, water, and a feminine, receptive kind of energy. And remember that wealth isn't just the whole material thing. Wealth comes in many forms. It could be spiritual riches. It could be friendship riches. Covers a whole kind of thing. But yeah, it is my go-to for money spells of any type. Definitely. Jane, you can grow carnations by tearing pipings off the stems in bouquets, rooting them in a pot with gritty soil. Absolutely. If you get a bunch of carnations, take off those little side shoots and plant them. Make some cuttings from them. Absolutely. Christine, I spent part of my holiday in Slad Valley, staying in a cottage with amazing lavender. Made a few tiny bouquets to take back. Planned to move there, so these are very special. Beautiful. Amazing. Absolutely. Good morning, Ashley. Love carnations and chrysanthemum. Not trendy blooms, but I love them. It's funny, isn't it, how flowers go in and out of fashion. Yeah, we were in a garden centre yesterday because we had a day off. We actually found one chrysanthemum, and I was quite surprised. You don't often see them. There weren't any carnations. There were some little pinks there, but yeah, flowers go in and out of fashion. Absolutely. Colours of flowers tend to go in and out of fashion too, I think. Which book are you using for meanings? One of mine, Kitchen Witch's World of Magical Plants and Herbs. It's got all folk magic, myths, legends about each plant, and then it has magical properties, ruling planets, elements, genders, and a few other bits and pieces in there as well. Rose and rose oil is my go-to in the last 20 months. Rose just got to be. I think if I had to limit the amount of magical ingredients I had, rose petals and rose thorns would definitely be in there because they are so useful and so versatile. Good morning, Megan. David, we were bored in the house, thought, why not? Now you look like a mad aunt. This is an explanation for your hair, isn't it? I'm glad we know now. Maria, rose thorns are great for protection. Absolutely. I put rose thorns quite often in my spells. Rose thorns are also, any thorns are good for carving in the side of candles as well. They're also good for pushing into candles if you want to pin a candle. Very, very useful for protection and hexing and cursing. If that is your want, then thorns work very well for that too. You're very welcome, Xenia. Sticky bobs. The sticky bobs are out now. Yes. I'm assuming you mean cleavers. Yes, that's what we used to call them when we were kids too. I don't have a very big garden. I don't have room for a wildflower area, so I have a long stone trough by the greenhouse, and I put wildflower seeds in that each year, and we've actually got cleavers growing in that this year. So cleavers is lace makers were known to stick the green seed of the cleavers to the heads of the pins to stop them sliding through the lace when it was being made. There you go. They do stick. We used to throw them at each other as kids because they stick to your clothes. Cleavers is commitment, tenacity, relationships, love, and binding. Very, very good one if you want to work a binding spell because it sticks. Ruled by Saturn, element of fire, and the gender is feminine, receptive. Very, very useful. Cleavers, very useful. Sarah, what book? Oh, book again. Bit of promo today. Kitchen Witch's World, Magical Plants and Herbs. I did write it. I don't remember all of the meanings. I work with plants and flowers a lot. Herbal magic is one of my favourite areas of magic to work with, but I don't remember all of the stuff because I tend to connect with each plant individually, which is what you should do. But there you go. No flowers left but the seed pods of the I can never say that word, abutilon, or Chinese lanterns are rather cool. Do the seed heads hold the same properties as the petals? Yes, the whole plant will hold the magical properties, whether it is the flowers, the seed head, the leaves, the twigs, the stems, the roots. The whole plant will hold the same magical properties. But I think when you work with the seed heads, you get the added bonus of seeds being new life, new growth. Even if they've got lots of tiny seeds like poppies, then you could bring in prosperity as well. But look at the shape, particularly something like Chinese lanterns. Look at the shape of the seed heads. If you're working with the roots, then you've also got the element of earth that comes into play as well. But yes, the whole thing will carry them. Maria, begonias are true survivors. Literally just leave it and through any weather, it never fails to flower. They are very, very resilient bedding plants. Absolutely. Christine, ferns seem to hold strong magical properties. All plants have magical properties. It doesn't matter what plant it is, whether it is, I'm just looking to see if I put ferns in. I did. Whether it is a blade of grass, right through to the most exotic, expensive orchid, and every other plant in between, will all have magical properties. And they'll all be useful for something. So fern, big, big category of plants, bear in mind. Ancient plants. For me, they are a connection to the other world. Definitely got that otherworldly kind of feeling to them. Ferns in the house bring protection and love. Carrying the fern seeds is said to make you invisible. I have not tested this. Please don't quote me on it. It won't actually give you superpowers, but it gives you that kind of glamour so that people won't see you necessarily or won't take notice of you. So fern is definitely spirit work, otherworld, underworld, protection, love, invisibility. It's also quite strongly linked to the world of fairy. Ruled by Mercury, air, and masculine protective energy. So ferns very, very useful. They grow, they self-seed themselves in our brick wall in the LOA beside our house because it's dark and damp, and that's what they like. All powerful. All plants are powerful. Emma, when I was growing vegetables in my little garden shelter, I used to play them Buddhist chants, and they must have enjoyed it because they grew very well. It has been proven, hasn't it, that if you talk or sing to your plants, they grow better. I'm not sure my plants would grow if I sang to them. You don't want me singing to them. That would be awful. You look after them, they will return the favour. Jane, we were given tasters of different meads and wines at our moot last night. Dandelion wine was nice. My dad used to make that. Thought it tasted a hint of whiskey in it. Sean, he gave me a funny look, but I guess we've all got different taste buds. Exactly. His Essex honey mead was gorgeous. Bees are excellent at working flower magic. Well, without the bees, we wouldn't have any plants, would we? We have to look after them. We have to grow the flowers for the bees. Mead's lovely. Like a bit of mead. Sephora, I have a ZZZ plant. Only have to water once a month on a full moon. First houseplant I haven't killed. Husband protects the inside plants from me. Don't know that one. I like the idea of it only being watered once a month on the full moon. That's good. Zinnia. Dandelion's also one of my favourites. Beautiful little suns. Strength to overcome adversaries. If you want to get rid of, they come back even more. Deep roots. Very deep roots. If you've ever tried to weed one out, they have very deep roots. And then every seed is a wish. This is a really good example of Mother Nature providing us with something amazing for free. Dandelions will just seed themselves and they will grow everywhere, even in cracks in the concrete pavement. And they are so packed full of magic. Brilliant. Emma, I also have a ginseng bonsai. Managed to keep her alive for years now. She's found a happy place in our living room. Fabulous. I had a little bonsai one many, many years ago that I bought at Chelsea Flower Show. Bizarre things, bonsais. Very bizarre. But magical, like all plants. Xenia, I should toss a bunch of clothes all over my workplace. Yeah, working from home also makes it better. Yeah, I like working from home. Cloves, essential ingredient for anti-gossip. Absolutely. Good morning, Trudy. Jalala, from a herbalism perspective, broom is good for heart regulation. Used sensibly, obviously. Forsythia is great for memory, also for dementia. Also anti-tumour, so good for cancer prevention treatment. Brilliant. I don't tend, this is my little disclaimer, and I have to put this for legal reasons, I don't tend to talk about medicinal properties of plants because they can be very powerful. A lot of the modern medicines we use today are based on herbal medicines. They are powerful. Please, please consult a qualified herbalist before you take any herbal remedies. Some of the herbal remedies can clash with medicine, over-the-counter medicine. They can also cause adverse effects if you have particular illnesses, diseases, underlying issues. So please, please consult a medical herbalist. Karen, love them geraniums. They are so hardy. Two types of geraniums. So the geraniums that we buy for bedding, we got some yesterday, that have the bright flowers. They are actually not geraniums. They are pelargoniums. But all the garden centres call them geraniums. What geraniums are actually, what wild geraniums, the cranesbill, which are perennial plants. We have those two. Both carry very, very similar magical properties. Both are very hardy. The cranesbill, the wild geranium, perennial, lasts forever, grows like a loony. The pelargoniums, the pot bedding geraniums, always bright, always colourful, survive anything. Very, very good if you forget to water them. They don't mind not being watered so much. But beautiful. And I love geranium essential oil. It is one of my favourites. It smells like Turkish delight to me. So very, very similar. So whether it is the wild geranium or the pelargonium, very similar magical properties. Protection, witches were said to grow red geraniums in their gardens to protect. Fertility, love, helpful in socializing and social situations for building your confidence and your courage. Very good for cleansing negative energy. Ruled by Venus, sign of Pisces, water, and a feminine energy. So very, very big punch of kind of goddess energy with that. Keep geraniums indoors to make guests feel welcome. Pink geraniums are good for love spells. White ones for fertility. Adding white geranium petals to incense blends for fertility works very well. Use geranium petals in spells to help you feel more confident about socializing and to bring more social events your way, should you wish. You can also get the scented pelargoniums, and they're amazing. You can get lemon scented ones, peppermint scented, or even a chocolate scented ones. They're brilliant because they bring in another element. You are combining magical properties then. So if you had a peppermint scented geranium, not only have you got the geranium magical properties, you bring in the properties of peppermint as well. Brilliant. Geranium oil, really good for cleansing your aura, for clearing away negative energy. And it smells divine. Very, very useful and brilliant in the garden because they are such tough little things. Jane, flower bouquets are very useful. My neighbour always had flowers in her house, and when I was working as a cleaner, I used to rescue all the eucalyptus out of the bouquets. They often put stems of eucalyptus in, don't they? As they were thrown out. Still got a jar of it years later, and it still smells just as good. I do use eucalyptus quite a lot in spells. Heather gave me a big old stash of eucalyptus. Very, very useful. It's a kind of air. It's one of those strong scent ones. That's the element of air, so it clears negative energy. Really good for that. It is ruled by the moon, but it's also ruled by the sun, so you've got a big amount of balance there. It is the element of air, but it's also the element of water, so you've got another balance there. Eucalyptus is moon magic, sun magic. Very good for divination, dreams, healing, and brilliant for purification. I use it in a lot of incense blends for that as well. The leaves can be used in healing poppets and medicine pouches for physical or emotional healing. The scent is cleansing and clearing because it's got that pungent smell to it. Very useful. Good morning, Sarah. Julala. We have massive camellia bushes here. Great news. Oh, they are. Prosperity, wealth, abundance. Absolute go-to for that. Jane, chrysanthemums are the classic smell of a florist shop. Yeah, you do get them in a few bouquets, don't you? But they seem to be out of fashion at the moment, which is a bit sad. Emma, we've also got lavender, which is taking over the garden. Going to need trimming and sorting. I cannot grow lavender. It does not like my soil. Our soil is heavy clay. Doesn't go with lavender very well at all, but beautiful plants. Good morning, Louise. Door flowers. I have 2 full beds at my allotment dedicated to flowers. My garden is very floriferous. Oh, good word. Word of the day. Everyone has to put floriferous into at least one sentence today. Super full of roses. Have that book. I love it. Thank you, Louise. Yeah, it is that time of the year, isn't it? Hence today's talk, because the garden is bursting. Everything's coming to life now. Thank you. Maria loves the book too. Thank you. Yes. Some bouquets not so good as the others. Our rowan tree has just finished flowering. The smell of the flowers is nasty. My husband said to me, "What's that horrible pea smell?" Oh, that's the rowan blossom. Yeah, so not all blossom is good. Sarah, love. Oh, rosemary. Yes, I've got rosemary in the garden too. Really, another herb that I would have in my go-to magical cupboard, because rosemary is so good for lots of things. It is another purification, protection one. Excellent in smudge bundles. And it has beautiful little lilac flowers on it. So rosemary, protection, love, lust, mental powers, exorcism, purification, healing, and sleep. Ruled by the sun, fire, and a masculine protective energy. It's a real kick butt type of herb, and it's also very useful because it's got that woody stem. So if you are making an incense blend, rosemary goes really well because that woody stem helps the incense to burn for longer. Brought to the UK by the Romans, so we have them to thank for it. Greeks wore rosemary in their hair to help boost the power of memory. Traditionally, rosemary was burnt as incense in houses that were stricken with illness because it clears away the negative energy. Also used in bridal bouquets for love and in funeral wreaths for remembrance. Use a long piece of fresh rosemary and bend it into a circle, tie the ends together with ribbon and hang it in your home to bring protection. Burning rosemary as an incense in your home gets rid of unwanted guests. I've not tried that one, or those that have outstayed their welcome. It is another one of those herbs, and there are a lot of them that used to be used traditionally to get rid of or protect against witches. It's also one of those herbs, and there's a few of those that appear in folklore. Rosemary will only flourish in the garden where the lady rules the house. We've got some decent rosemary in our garden. Just saying. So yeah, rose petals, rose oil, and thorns. Love it. Useful, so useful. Karen's off to walk the dog. My dog's asleep, upside down on the beanbag bag, fast asleep. Louise, tops of cleavers steeped overnight in water. Yummy. Yes, you can eat them too, can't you? Oh yes, sticky bobs. Yes, curly haired dog. Those things. Yeah, dog fur and sticky bobs. Don't go very. Don't go together very well. Jane, cleavers have made a comeback in her garden. Oh, I call it Velcro weed. Yes, have to clear it out of our cat's fur. Yeah, animal fur and cleavers. Not good. Not good. Christine, I got hay fever today. Even talking about it. I find lilacs so beautiful. Just found out recently that edible. Made an infused honey with them this season. Beautiful. My garden's not really big enough for a lilac tree, but they are very, very pretty. So lilac is a beautiful scent, obviously. Wear lilac petals in an amulet or medicine pouch to attract love to you and provide personal protection. Sprinkle lilac petals around your property to keep out negative energy, and burn lilac petals in incense blends to aid your meditations and strengthen your spiritual connection. So lilac is protection, exorcism, love, and meditation. Ruled by Venus, water, and feminine, so a real magical punch. If you're a Terry Pratchett fan, obviously we've just had the 25th of May when you need your lilac blossoms. If you know, you know. Sarah, what's your favourite way to dry your rose petals? I have some ready to dry. No, I don't do anything technical. I have some big trays. My husband calls them my curry trays. When I have a takeaway curry, I have these massive big tray so that I can put all of my bits of curry on it. Why wouldn't you? So I have a couple of these big trays, and I use them for drying flower petals or leaves or herbs. I put a few pieces of kitchen towel, paper towel on it, and literally lay them out. And then I put them on the kitchen table to dry. When we used to have a conservatory, I used to put them out there because it was much warmer. If you've got an airing cupboard, that's brilliant. You can also dry them hung upside down with a brown paper bag tied around the head of the flower, so all the petals drop in, or seeds, if you're doing seed heads, drop into the brown paper bag. But I must admit, I lay them all out on kitchen towel. It's not technical. There's nothing fancy to it. That's just how I do it. They will fade. The colours of the rose petals will fade. If you want to keep the colour, you'll have to do something a bit more technical with them. But yeah, literally just lay them out on kitchen paper. If anyone's got any other ways of doing it, pop them in the comments. Jane, my intuition tells me that Chinese lanterns light our way when we have to delve into the underworld to do shadow work. Perhaps that makes absolute sense to me. Absolutely. Perfect. Good morning, Pia. Pia runs Pagan Tribal Gathering. Seriously, if you haven't been before, do it. It is the most amazing event. I think there's only a few tickets left, but it is fantastic. We will have lots of books there, Pia, and I will save one for you. Jalala, cleavers are amazing. Great to cleanse the body, flush the lymphatic system, and also great for eczema and psoriasis. Just made a wonderful infused oil with nettle, cleavers, rosemary, and dandelion for psoriasis. Going to add some hazel leaf and sorrel infused oil when it's ready. It's magic, isn't it? It is healing magic. Jalala, I have a massive fern in fairy corner in our garden. Perfect. Yeah, so another vote for ferns. We do have them in our, I say they self-seed. I've never actually bought one to grow, but we are planning a little corner of the shaded corner of the garden. I'm pointing to the garden. You don't know it's that's the corner. That's the shaded corner of the garden. We are planning little bit of a fernery there. That's a project for this summer, so I'll keep you updated. Jane, ferns go back to prehistory, so I'd associate them with ancestral magic. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They are ancient, so that makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Good morning, Anne. Steve, I always carry a high John the Conqueror root in a pouch. Very, very magical. Very magical. I must admit, I don't tend to work with it because it doesn't grow over here. It's not native to the UK, and I like to work with plants that I have grown or ones that I can source locally. High John the Conqueror, we tend to have to ship in from abroad, but it's a root, and roots are amazing magic to work with. Roots of any plants are fantastic to work with. But High John the Conqueror it's very good for protection. It's very good for prosperity as well. Go with what works for you. Got to be a connection that you make. Absolutely. Xenia, fern might like my flat then. All of my flats don't let a lot of sun in. Maybe that's why other plants have died. They do need a bit of sunshine. They do need a bit of sunshine. But try a fern. Bathroom windowsill, if you've got one, would be ideal. Dawny. At my front is a tiny bit of grass with primulas, and I said it was winter. It would be lovely to have it full of them instead of grass. 3 months later, completely full of primulas. Perfect. I like primulas. I like spring flowers. I mean, I love the summer garden, but I think spring flowers, tulips and daffodils in particular, are some of my favourite plants. There is that kind of, this is Mother Nature starting to do her thing. Primulas, primroses, all very similar magical properties. Love protection. The fairies love them. Very good for changes, very good for growth. Ruled by Venus, element of earth, and a feminine energy. Magical, magical plants. But be careful what you wish for. Absolutely. Louise, I'm wearing geranium oil as perfume today, diluted in sunflower. Oh, bet that smells amazing. I love it. It is one of my favorite scents. Got something very unique about it, geranium oil. Xenia, also, as for medical use, one never knows the doses because every plant is different. Yes, plant medicine doesn't mean it's harmless and soft medicine. Absolutely. Herbal remedies can be incredibly powerful. Do please check with a qualified herbalist before you start taking stuff yourself. Absolutely. Emma, this chat is wanting me to try again to grow flowers. Might start small with my favourite flowers, which are pansies. Pansies are lovely and they flower for such a long time. Pansies, violas, all beautiful. All beautiful. Sephora, in my garden, Cape gooseberry, yum. Little yellow balls in papery lanterns, delicious. Fruits make beautiful jam and lanterns. I guess make lanterns for the fae. Now I think about it, lots of lantern forms in the garden. The Cape gooseberry, the physalis, you can save the little papery bits from the outside and use those for your magical workings. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Maria, I have a real geranium. It smells lemony with purple flowers. It always ends up looking mess by the end of the summer. They do, don't they? Is it one of the scented pelargoniums, or one of the wild geraniums? They're always good. We've got a pink wild geranium, cranesbill. It does. They get a bit floppy, don't they? Yes, good point, Xenia. Good substitute for expensive rose oil. Rose oil, the good stuff, is very expensive. You can substitute it with geranium oil. It's a very good substitute and cheaper. And grows lavender in a pot. Yes, in my garden I have to, because the soil doesn't like it. I think it's about knowing, particularly things like herbs, knowing what type of plant they are and what they like to live in. Lavender, like herbs, very Mediterranean. They like the sun. They like the gritty soil. They like the well-drained soil. They like to be warm. It's working with the plant and how it likes to live. Yeah, floriferous, definitely the word for today. Definitely. Christine, on a hike in the Cotswolds, we were on a trail with a path of dogwood petals, such delicate petals. I love dogwood because it is the true kind of form of a rose, isn't it? It is brilliant. Good morning, Tony. We have a lot of rosemary, yes. Well, what can you do? David, have 2 massive lavender bushes, so later in the year my house will have bunches of rosemary and lavender hanging around the door. I've even got a heather bush. I think I used all 3. I used in my oak lesson to make a mini besom. Brilliant. Which I now use as a cleaning whisk. Brilliant. And those would also make very good smudge sticks. Jane, my rosemary is full of cuckoo spit. Yes, I get that too. Can't brush past it without getting soaked. Yes, it is flourishing. Not sure if it's because I'm the boss or I'm just lumbered with being responsible for everything. We won't ask. We won't question it. Jalala made lilac cordial this year. Oh, I have seen recipes for that. Brilliant. Senia, there are lilac trees on the way to my workplace. Absolutely love the scent. It is beautiful. Jane, I have made lilac soap from the tree. You guys are all so creative. Brilliant. David, just remembered the St. John's wort starting to bud in the alley behind the house. That's a lovely find. That is a very lovely find. St. John's wort, obviously good for healing. Bear in mind that it is in here somewhere. There it is. Bear in mind that there's only one particular St. John's wort that is used for the medicine. It's a huge genus of plants, Hypericum plants. So if you are using it to make a herbal medicine with, make sure you get the right variation. But it brings protection, health, strength, love, divination, happiness, abundance, truth, ruled by the sun, fire, masculine, very protective kind of energy. Used to the medical uses for depression. So I think in a magical purpose as well, St. John's wort is really good for magical workings to uplift the energy, to bring in happiness. It's ruled by the sun and it's a fiery one, so it dispels the darkness. And the flowers, of course, are yellow, so it's all happy, it's all good. Place a piece of St. John's wort under your pillow to dream of your future love. You'll like this one. St. John's wort was placed in the mouth of an accused witch to help force her to confess to her witchcraft ways. I think for me, that says that it's very good to use in truth spells. How she was expected to confess when she had a mouthful of plant, I have no idea. But there you go. Another useful one. Another useful one. Good evening, Marie. Screen through these. Oh, because we're there. We're at the hour already. It's just way. No, Jalala, way too overexcited about this topic. Please don't. These things run themselves because you guys take part, and that is very, very important to me. And I am overwhelmed by the interaction that you guys make and the effort that you put in this. And it's a huge topic. We haven't even scratched the surface. Sephora, have you folks got elderflowers? Yeah, kind of been and almost gone. The elderflower flowers are at the moment kind of on the way out now. Elder is protection, healing, fairies, purification, intuition, exorcism, hex breaking, rebirth. Venus, water, feminine. For anyone that's coming to Pagan Tribal Gathering, Heather and Ness will be running a dryad ritual, and they're going to be including elder. If you aren't a Pagan Tribal, catch the July online Kitchen Witch ritual, because we're going to be running a slightly modified Dryad ritual, and we will be including Elder as one of those. Oh, I'm about primulas. We bought some marigolds last week. They were in the garden for precisely one night. The next morning, they were all stalks. The slugs and snails had eaten the entire lot. There you go. I'm swinging my way through these now, because we're at the hour. Lots and lots of dogwood. Yeah, dogwood's excellent. We have got a dogwood in the garden that has bright red stalks in the winter. Absolutely brilliant plant. Brilliant plant. Wisteria. Yes, I've seen some wonderful wisterias. I don't know if that's in the book, actually. I wrote this book a long time ago. I don't I don't remember. No, it's not in there. Wisteria is one of those ones, I think, that's not traditionally used in magic, but it flowers for a very short period of time. So I think it's got a very special concentrated magic energy. The flowers are always amazing, very showy. So I think it would work for glamour magic. I think it would work for confidence magic. The trunk, the branches of wisteria are always gnarled and twisty, so it would speak crone magic to me as well. I think it is about, with any of these plants, looking at them and seeing what connection you make. That's a good one for a clematis. Now, that's not another one that's not traditionally used for magical purpose. You don't generally find it on lists. I use clematis for growth magic, and I use it for reaching goals, because clematis twists, turns, climbs, works its way upwards. So for me, it's perfect for magic to help you reach your goal. I save the seed heads generally of clematis for that. Oh yes, a bit ironic using witchcraft to force a witch to confess being a witch. There are so many plants and herbs that were used to protect against witchcraft that we now use. It is, yeah, it's all about magic. It's all about magic. So many lovely comments, questions, suggestions. The world of flower magic is huge. I would encourage you to connect with each of your plants to discover what magic they can work for you. As with anything, it might be slightly different for each person, and each plant will be different. Two plants exactly the same next to each other will have slightly different energies. They will have their own unique characters, their own unique personalities. Connect with that plant and find out what it can do for you. Dry the flowers, dry the leaves, dry the seed heads. They can all be used for magical purpose. Just literally lay them out on kitchen paper and dry them, or turn them upside down with paper bags over them. Very, very easy to do. Every single plant will provide you with some form of magic. Look at it in the garden and then use it for magic. It's a fascinating subject. And as always, thank you for joining me. If you want me to talk about anything specific, anything that interests you, ping me a message and I will include it in the list of chats. Look at the websites for all of the events. Otherwise, I will see you back here next week. Thank you everyone for joining me.